Within the depths of human existence lies a mystery that can transform one's perspective on life. This is about a concept capable of overturning conventional notions of aspirations and needs. How is it possible to attract everything without needing anything at all? This question, seemingly a paradox, is in fact the key to understanding ancient wisdom that has permeated the teachings of sages and philosophers for centuries. The essence lies in the idea that by letting go of attachments and desires, one creates space for abundance, opening doors to new opportunities and experiences. Imagine the calm surface of a lake on a windless day. The water is still, like a mirror reflecting the heavens. This tranquility reflects the harmony of the world, the unity of all existence. The stillness of the water symbolizes the stillness of the mind, a state in which we open ourselves to the fullness of life, embracing it in all its manifestations. We invite you to embark on a journey to explore this idea through the lens of stories, ancient teachings, and profound reflections. Let us turn to the wisdom of Lao Tzu, whose words, spoken centuries ago, still resonate today. If you want to become full, let yourself be empty. If you want to get everything, give up everything. These words hold a power that urges us to let go, to free ourselves from attachment to material possessions and ephemeral pleasures. When we release obsessive thoughts about what we believe we need for happiness, we create space for the universe, allowing it to fill our lives with what we truly need. Open your heart and mind to delve together into this mystical understanding that can change your life. Why is it that by needing nothing, we attract everything? To answer this question, let's turn to an instructive story. Imagine a traveler trudging through an endless desert. The sun beats down relentlessly, scorching the earth with its heat. Exhausted by thirst and fatigue, the traveler desperately searches for an oasis, a place to find water, shade, and much-needed relief. Hot air rises from the sand, creating mirages that beckon in the distance. The traveler, gathering the last of their strength, continues their journey, eyes fixed on the horizon. With each step, they repeat to themselves, "Just a little further, just a bit more. Beyond that dune, I'm sure to find what I'm looking for. There will be water, coolness, and rest." The thirst torments them ever more intensely, and the need for water becomes all-consuming. Each step becomes harder, and despair begins to overcome the traveler. Just a little more, they insist, but the mirage of the oasis, as if mocking them, recedes further and further. No matter how far they walk, no matter how hard they strive forward, the oasis remains unreachable. Does this not remind us of how often we act in life, chasing after illusory goals, after what we believe will bring us happiness? Consumed by desire, convinced that our well-being lies somewhere beyond the horizon, we often run in circles, never finding peace. Our minds are absorbed in this endless pursuit, and in this rush, we fail to notice how the universe is already offering us what we truly need. But what if, instead of continuing to chase the mirage, the traveler stops? What if, for a moment, they cast aside their worries, let go of despair, and simply sit in the shade of a dune to rest their body and mind? What if they stop running and just allow themselves to be? What would happen if we loosen our grip and release the need for constant pursuit of what we think we need? When the weary traveler, exhausted, stops in silence, something transformative occurs. Instead of the tormenting sensation of thirst, their senses perceive the gentle touch of the cool desert wind. They begin to hear the silence, previously drowned out by their desperate search. And in this stillness, a miracle happens. The oasis, which had seemed a distant dream, appears directly before them, as if it had always been there, waiting for the moment the traveler would stop and turn their gaze upon it. The water itself begins to flow to their feet, as if an act of surrender attracts the life-giving moisture. In that moment, the realization dawns that it was not endless pursuit that led them to what they desired, but the relinquishing of the need itself. The struggle, the striving, the unrestrained desire, all proved unnecessary. Thanks to letting go and surrender, the oasis appeared without the slightest effort, as if patiently waiting for the traveler to cease their flight. Rumi, the eminent Sufi mystic, expressed this truth with profound depth. When I pursue what I think I need, my days become a crucible of suffering and anxiety. But if I remain in patient waiting, then all that is needed comes to me on its own, without any pain. His words serve as a powerful reminder that it is in patience and readiness for stillness that the world begins to reveal its gifts. The traveler learned this truth by abandoning all need, allowing everything to happen naturally. In their stillness and detachment, they found what they had sought for so long. Having witnessed the traveler's transformation, it is important to understand the power of letting go and surrender. For centuries, great spiritual teachings have emphasized the necessity of freedom from attachments to achieve peace and abundance. But what does surrender truly mean? And why does non-attachment play such a vital role in spiritual wisdom? Surrender is not passivity or submission to fate, nor is it an abandonment of struggle. Rather, it is liberation from the urge to control, from the desire to manipulate and impose one's will. When we desperately cling to what we believe we need, we are like a person with clenched fists, unable to receive anything new. But by opening our hands, we create space for the free flow of life. We relinquish the idea that everything must happen in a certain way and allow the universe to fill us with what we truly need. Recall moments when you had to struggle against the current of life. Perhaps you tried to save a relationship that was not meant to be, or relentlessly pursued a goal, believing that with more effort, you would surely achieve it. In such moments, you pursued what perhaps was never meant to materialize. The struggle itself became an insurmountable obstacle to success. But have you noticed how everything became easier when you let go of the situation and allowed life to take its course? This is the wisdom of non-attachment. In Buddhism, it is said that attachment is the root of all suffering. By clinging to results, people, or material possessions, we create within ourselves a sense of lack, feeling incomplete, as if something is missing. In this state, we constantly strive for self-realization. But the truth is, we are already whole. The moment we free ourselves from attachment to the external world, we discover that inner peace is always available to us, like the oasis patiently waiting for the traveler. In Taoist philosophy, Lao Tzu, the ancient sage, left us invaluable teachings encapsulated in a paradoxical statement. If you seek fullness, learn to empty yourself. If you wish to gain everything, give up everything. A profound truth is contained in this phrase. When a person's mind and heart are filled with selfish aspirations and all sorts of attachments, there is no room left for anything greater. However, when we free ourselves from the shackles of desires and stop clinging to the mundane, we open the doors for the universe, allowing it to fill us. and what it bestows often surpasses our wildest expectations. This idea is reflected in many spiritual traditions around the world. In Christian mysticism, Meister Eckhart, a 14th century theologian, expressed a similar thought. To be full of things is to be empty of God. To be empty of things is to be full of God. These words imply that by freeing ourselves from attachment to material possessions and the craving for external recognition, we open ourselves to a deeper connection with the divine. Regardless of whether we call it God, the universe, or source, this connection nourishes us at a soul level. True peace is found not in accumulating things, but in relinquishing the desire to own and control. Imagine a boundless open field stretching before you. There are no fences, no barriers, just infinite space. You are free to move, explore, and exist without the limitations imposed by desires and expectations. In this boundlessness, you are simultaneously free and full, not because you have more, but because you have liberated yourself from the burden of desires. In this state, life itself comes to meet you, bringing everything you need without struggle or effort. Like the traveler who found the oasis when they let go of their thirst, we can find abundance by ceasing to chase it. This happens when we stop striving for what is not meant for us, and instead surrender to the flow of life. By studying the wisdom of letting go and non-attachment, we realize that this truth is not confined to one culture or tradition. The concept of needing nothing and gaining everything in return is a universal truth, permeating the teachings of great mystics and spiritual philosophers throughout history. Lao Tzu's words from the Tao Te Ching remind us, if you want to get everything, give up everything. This is the path of detachment, of liberating oneself to embrace the fullness of life. The beauty of this teaching lies in the fact that it is not merely a theoretical construct, it is a lived experience. In Taoism, this concept is known as Wu Wei, or non-action, effortless action. It is not about striving or struggling, but about allowing the universe to act through us, aligning with the flow of life rather than resisting it. When we stop forcing events and release the need to control every outcome, we enter a state of grace where life unfolds naturally. Lao Tzu teaches us that we do not need to forcibly attract abundance into our lives. Through letting go, it will come to us effortlessly. Just as the traveler in the desert found the oasis only when they stopped chasing it. In the Sufi tradition, echoes of this profound truth can be heard in Rumi's poetry, celebrating the dance between passionate striving and liberating letting go. His words, "Let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. It will not lead you astray," reveal a subtle yet important truth. Authentic desires, in harmony with our true essence, do not require frantic chasing. They are part of an all-encompassing life force, gently guiding us along our destined path. By freeing ourselves from the obsessive need for what is desired, we open ourselves to opportunities, allowing life to lead us where we are meant to be, and allowing what is destined to come naturally. Sages from various spiritual traditions have grasped this fundamental truth. In Christian mysticism, Meister Eckhart emphasized the necessity of self-emptying to receive the divine. He wrote, "The more we have of the world, the less we have of God, and the less we have of the world, the more we have of God." This is a call to free ourselves from attachment to external attributes, be it material possessions, interpersonal relationships, or an insatiable craving for more, to open space for something more elevated and enduring. Emptiness is not a deficit, but fertile ground, providing an opportunity for the divine to permeate us, allowing the universe to flow freely within and through us. Even in Buddhist teaching, we find echoes of this foundational wisdom. The Buddha taught that the root of suffering lies in attachment. He realized that our dependence on things, people, and even our own ideas about how life should unfold condemns us to suffering. By freeing ourselves from the shackles of attachment, we liberate ourselves from suffering, ceasing to cling to the fleeting. We gain the freedom to simply be, to flow with life without resistance. These teachings, stemming from different spiritual traditions, converge on one key truth. By letting go and freeing ourselves from need, we align with the flow of life and the abundance that is always available to us. The more we let go, the more we receive, not just material goods, but deeper, enduring gifts, peace, wisdom, and love. It is in our readiness for self-emptying that we create space for life to fill us with everything we truly need. As you reflect on these teachings, ask yourself, what am I clinging to that I no longer need? What attachments in my life are preventing me from receiving the abundance that is already available to me? Allow yourself to let go, to make space in your life so that the universe can enter and fill you with what you truly need. Now, having explored the wisdom of letting go and non-attachment, let's delve deeper into the concept of emptiness. At first glance, this might seem like an abstract or even frightening idea. We often perceive emptiness as something worthless, a place of non-existence. But in spiritual teachings, emptiness is not something to be feared. It is the very womb of creation, the space from which everything arises. It is the sacred void that holds infinite possibility. And it is in this emptiness, in this stillness, that all life is born. In many esoteric teachings, the abyss appears as a sacred place, a dwelling of dormant possibilities, where the seeds of future creations are nurtured. In Taoism, it is called the eternal Tao, the fundamental energy that permeates all existence. Lao Tzu, the ancient sage, wrote, "The Tao is like an inexhaustible well, a source full of endless possibilities." He reminds us that emptiness is not a gap or a flaw, but a wellspring of inexhaustible potential, the cradle of all being, and an arena of continuous renewal. By immersing ourselves in this state of non-being, we synchronize with the natural rhythm of the cosmos. Only by abandoning futile attempts to control every aspect of our lives, by letting go of the urge to fill every moment with busyness, do we open the gates for the intervention of the universe, guiding us on our true path. It is in emptiness that authentic creativity is born, where inspiration, serendipity, and insights arise without the slightest effort. This is the place where we let go of the reins, allowing life to take its course. The Sufi mystic Rumi often extolled the power of emptiness, the sacred abyss that contains all possibilities. In one of his most famous poems, he proclaims, "Don't grieve. Anything you lose comes back in another form." Rumi reminds us that emptiness is not a cause for sorrow, but an arena of transformation. What we lose or let go of at one moment does not disappear without a trace. It merely makes room for what is to come. It is in emptiness that this transformation occurs, in a space of continuous renewal and creation. The concept of emptiness has also found reflection in Western philosophy. In ancient Greece, Heraclitus taught about constant motion, about the eternal changeability of the world. These metamorphoses occur in the space of non-being, where what is old gives way to what is new. By freeing ourselves from attachment to the past, to our ideas of how things should be, we create fertile ground for the emergence of something new. This is the power of emptiness, an eternal source of creation, where we can shed the shackles of the old and embrace what is to come. In the Christian mystical tradition, the concept of emptiness is often associated with spiritual humility. Meister Eckhart, a 14th century theologian, spoke of the necessity of self-emptying to receive divine fullness. He likened the soul to a mirror that reflects divine light only when it is free from the mist of desires. This mist obscures our vision, preventing us from seeing the truth and feeling the divine flow of life. By emptying ourselves, freeing ourselves from attachment to the worldly, we open the gates for divine light. Emptiness becomes a vessel that contains the divine, a space where creation and transformation occur. In Buddhist teaching, emptiness is called shunyata, an abyss filled with potential for all existence. It is not a gaping void of non-being, but a space teeming with possibilities, where the true nature of being can be realized. The Buddha teaches that by perceiving the world as devoid of a fixed and unchanging essence, we gain the ability to perceive it in its fullness, fluid, impermanent, and ever-changing. In this emptiness we find true freedom, space for creation, transformation, and spiritual awakening. As we contemplate these profound ideas, it is important to remember that emptiness is not a symbol of lack or deficit, but rather a source of boundless possibilities and inexhaustible potential. It is in this seeming emptiness that everything needed for growth, transformation, and new beginnings is found. Just as the traveler, parched with thirst in the endless desert, finds the longed-for oasis only when they release their desperate desire, so too does humanity find the true abundance of life by allowing itself to immerse in this sacred emptiness where all existence originates. Having explored the power of emptiness, that primordial space from which everything arises, it is fitting to move on to the next stage of the spiritual journey, understanding how to navigate the world, having created this inner space. What happens when a person stops forcibly pushing events, when they abandon futile striving, and simply allows life to take its course? This is the essence of effortless action, a concept deeply explored in many spiritual traditions. In Taoism, this concept is known as Wu Wei, or the art of non-action. However, non-action should not be understood as a complete absence of activity. Rather, it is action born from a state of deep alignment with the natural rhythms of life. It is the opposite of coercion and struggle, arising spontaneously, without excessive effort or the desire for control. When we speak of effortless action, it does not imply passivity or idleness, but rather the ability to act with grace and wisdom, responding to life's challenges as they arise, without attempting to impose one's will on the surrounding world. It is the skill of trusting the flow of life and allowing it to guide you, moving from a state of deep trust, not from fear or despair, with the confidence that everything is unfolding as it should. Lao Tzu, the great sage, wrote in his book Tao Te Ching, "The Tao does nothing, yet nothing is left undone." These words encapsulate the profound wisdom of Wu Wei. The Tao, as a symbol of the universe's flow, compels nothing, but simply flows, and in this flow, everything is accomplished. When a person aligns with this natural flow, they become an instrument of effortless action, freeing themselves from the need to make things happen, because they are in harmony with the universe, moving in unison with the current of life. Jalaluddin Rumi, the Persian poet and Sufi mystic, also grasped this truth, writing, Don't move the way fear makes you move. Move the way love makes you move. In these words, Rumi emphasizes the importance of the energy of trust. Fear makes us cling to control, struggle, and swim against the current, while love allows us to let go, trust the flow, and move in harmony with life. When a person trusts the flow of life, moving from a state of love rather than fear, everything falls into place without undue effort. This does not mean that difficulties or obstacles will not arise on the path, but when a person is in a state of alignment, of fluidity with life, rather than struggling against it, they are able to meet these challenges with grace and wisdom, approaching each moment with calmness and clarity, knowing that they are not alone and that the universe supports them every step of the way. This is the magic of letting go, not in avoiding life's difficulties, but in approaching them with a sense of trust, knowing that everything is happening for the highest good. In the Christian mystical tradition, the profound reflections of Meister Eckhart touch upon the theme of trust. Let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you truly love. It will not lead you astray. These words reflect the idea that by following the call of one's heart and trusting the natural course of life, one is guided to where they are meant to be. Truly, it is not always possible to grasp the meaning of unfolding events, yet one can gain confidence that the universe consistently acts for the good of each individual. By relinquishing the desire to control every outcome and allowing life to take its course, one discovers that necessary doors open before them without the slightest effort. Opportunities arise, amazing coincidences occur, and movement through the world is filled with a sense of ease and grace. Like a river that flows around obstacles and finds the path of least resistance, a person ultimately reaches the sea of self-realization. As we approach the conclusion of this spiritual journey, it is important to pause and reflect on the wisdom we have gained. The moment of transition from understanding to integration has arrived. How can these teachings be applied in daily life? What does it look like to embrace the paradox of needing nothing? How can one allow themselves to flow with life, trusting that everything necessary will come at the right moment, simply by letting go of attachment to material possessions? We invite you to settle comfortably, close your eyes, and direct your attention inward. In this silent space, reflect on the questions posed, allowing them to resonate in your heart and mind. Begin by asking, what am I holding on to right now? It is important to consider the things to which you feel a strong attachment, desires, expectations, results you are desperately striving for. Perhaps there is something you want so intensely that it has consumed your thoughts and taken root in your heart. Whether it be a person, a dream, an object, or a sense of control, whatever it may be, acknowledge it without judgment, simply recognizing it as part of your experience. Now, it's important to ask yourself, what would happen if I let this go? Imagine gently releasing everything you are holding on to, like a light leaf on the wind, floating away into the distance. What feelings arise from this? Can you feel a deepening of peace, a relaxation in your body and mind, as you free yourself from the burden of desires? Take a few deep breaths, allowing yourself to feel the relief that comes with releasing attachments. In this moment of letting go, an inner space is created for peace, love, creativity, and abundance. Moving to the next reflection, it is important to ask yourself, what am I ready to receive? By letting go of attachments, you make space for something new. When the cup is empty, it is ready to be filled. Ask yourself, What am I inviting into my life now? What do I truly need? Whether it is peace, love, clarity, guidance, or even physical nourishment, allow yourself to visualize what you wish to receive. What feelings arise when you open your heart to these things? It is important to realize that the universe always offers exactly what is needed. When you are open, when you stop chasing anything and allow yourself to be still, the abundance of life flows freely into your hands. Believe that what is meant for you will surely find its way. Let this be your truth. So the key question of our time is, how do we move forward, feeling a deep trust in the flow of life? It is worth taking time to reflect on how to cultivate this trust in unfolding events. Perhaps there are areas where controlling the outcome has become an obsession, where constant pressure and striving deplete your energy. It's important to ask yourself, how can I move forward with greater ease and acceptance, allowing life to guide me instead of fiercely resisting it? You need to feel a profound trust that you are exactly where you are meant to be. In this stillness, in this moment, realize your harmony with the rhythms of the universe. The path becomes clear not through forcing circumstances, but through trusting their natural flow. A deep breath will help you feel peace permeate every cell of your body. With the exhale, tension and anxiety dissipate. The understanding of your own self-sufficiency and having everything you need in this moment should become deeply rooted in your consciousness. And when you are ready, you can gently return to the awareness of the present. Feel the ground beneath your feet, the air around you, and realize that the world is unfolding in perfect order, exactly as it should be. In concluding these reflections, it is important to return to the central idea. Needing nothing attracts everything. This is not a paradox, but a fundamental truth that permeates the fabric of the universe. When the endless search ceases and attachment to external achievements is released, a door opens to the boundless abundance that the universe is always ready to provide. It is in the act of letting go, in surrender to the inevitable, that space emerges for life to be filled with all that is necessary. True desires and aspirations are not found externally, but are naturally attracted when one aligns with the flow of the tone. Universe. A natural question arises. How can this truth be embodied in daily life? The answer is simple. Through presence, trust, and acceptance. It is necessary to remain in the present moment, trust the process, and accept what is happening without resistance. This allows one to effortlessly flow with the current of life. It is not about passivity, but about active participation in the unfolding drama of the universe. Not about inaction, but about action stemming from a state of peace, wholeness, and alignment with reality. Lao Tzu's words come to mind. The Tao does nothing, yet nothing is left undone. This is the state of action without strain. By freeing oneself from attachment to the outcome and acting from trust, one allows life to guide them. The universe moves through them, and their actions harmonize with the flow of existence. In moments of silence, answers to troubling questions are found. By letting go of the need for control, one discovers that they are not lost, but exactly where they are meant to be. In the emptiness of non-being, everything is found. And when the pursuit of elusive goals ceases, it becomes clear that life has always provided everything necessary. It simply wasn't noticed in the hustle. So, as you move forward from this starting point, it is essential to maintain an awareness of your wholeness and self-sufficiency. It is important to remember that all necessary resources and opportunities reside within each of us. The universe is not an external force, but an integral part of our inner world. By letting go of the desire for total control, of the obsessive urge to force events, and of the exhausting pursuit of elusive goals, one achieves harmony with the natural course of life. By allowing events to unfold in their own time, we open the doors for everything we desire to come to us easily and effortlessly, as if by magic. It is in this liberation from excessive tension that the path to inner peace, complete self-realization, and inexhaustible abundance lies. To conclude this process, take a deep breath, allowing this fundamental truth to penetrate the deepest parts of your being, rooting itself there as a solid foundation. Paradoxically, yet truly, by needing nothing, we attract everything we need for a happy and fulfilling life.